What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me tonight. Tonight is the big showdown, the big debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. We know that Donald Trump is a very skilled negotiator. He is a skilled debater, one of the best in my opinion, but we haven't seen much from Kamala Harris aside from fake interactions and highly scripted and edited interviews. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Let me know where you're watching this from and smash the like button. This is what News Nation had to say.
Well, it's a big night for Kamala Harris is what it is. This is the first time she's going to be on a stage for all the American people to see. She's been hiding. You take Joe Biden's basement strategy of 2020 and this is on steroids. The mainstream media is culpable for not asking her any tough questions. We're going to see her on the debate stage and we're going to see what she has to say about her open border as the borders are. We're going to see about a broken economy and inflation out of control and high interest rates. We're going to see about the job, the cooking the books on the jobs numbers that just came out last week. We're going to see a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of questions that Kamala Harris is going to have to answer for the very first time. And it's very important for her to do incredibly well because we know Donald Trump is going to be steady and smooth on his feet because, as you said in your open, he's done this a few times.
Trump has clowned multiple times and he has a very unique way of debating. I think that it plays to Vice President Harris's favor that she has had multiple people who he's debated before in her room during prep. She's also seen all the tapes. What we know is that the campaign is going to push towards trying to get under Donald Trump's skin. Her being a Black woman is one thing that gets under his skin and she doesn't even have to say anything. But beyond that, I think that the ceiling to clear is a whole lot higher for Kamala Harris than it ever will be for Donald Trump. So she's got to, one, create the narrative about herself. There's still a lot of Americans who are asking a question, who is Kamala Harris?
Seems like the media is setting the bar pretty low for Kamala Harris because what they've seen thus far from Kamala Harris hasn't been much. So she's not going to climb through this glass ceiling. She's maybe just going to show up. It'd be a lot better than when Joe Biden showed up to the debate, like what Dave Portnoy says here.
The truth of the matter is, I don't think this debate is going to change how really anybody votes. The problem with this country, everybody's already made up their mind. They're so entrenched. This election, I think it's just going to come down to who can get their people to get out more. But nobody, I don't think, is flip-flopping based on what's going to happen. Right. I think it'll be a soundbite fest.
But it comes down to who looks presidential, who looks like they can handle the Oval Office, either again for Trump or first time for Harris. That is perception, it's demeanor that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super important. But again, I'd go back to, I don't know that it matters. Like the people who are going to vote Democratic are going to vote Democratic no matter what. They could probably wheeled out Joe Biden and had, lettuce coming out of his head. They'd still vote. We're so entrenched in who we want already. It's really hard to change minds.
True. I got you down as a Trump guy, Dave. Are you? Are you prepared to say out who you are? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm voting for Trump.
And get this, finally, Kamala Harris has placed policies on her website. I don't know how long it took them to do that, but they finally put policies on their website a few days before the debate. I think it's a little too late to be doing that. People aren't going to be reading that. And I don't think the debate is going to sway voters either way, but they'll get a clear picture on how ineffective and how unqualified Kamala Harris actually is for this role. CNN anchor Erin Burnett was absolutely floored when her co-reporter displayed some of Kamala Harris's far-left Democratic positions.
Tonight, Kamala Harris releasing details of her policy positions for the first time on her campaign website. A K-file investigation has uncovered, meantime, a 2019 questionnaire. And in this questionnaire, Harris laid out some much more liberal stances, among them on immigration. So in 2019, in what K-File found, she said she would cut funding to ICE, writing, quote, "Our immigrant detention system is out of control, and I believe we must end the unfair incarceration of thousands of individuals, families, and children. I was one of the first senators after President Trump was elected to advocate for a decrease in funding to ICE." Well, now, of course, she's touting the Biden administration's executive order to crack down on the border. K-File's Andrew Kaczynski joins me now. Andrew, that's pretty incredible on its own when you're talking about what you found here on ICE. What else did you find?
Yeah, and this was a questionnaire that she filled out for the ACLU, and this questionnaire is really an interesting snapshot in time of that 2019 Democratic primary. Kamala Harris was trying to get to the left of Bernie Sanders. She was trying to get to the left of Elizabeth Warren, and you really see that in a lot of these answers. And I want to walk our viewers through a little bit of what she said. Let's just take immigration and look at what she said here. She said on immigration, she made this open-ended pledge to end immigrant detention. She said she supported taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants. She also said she supported
Taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants. She
migrants.
actually said she supported that.
That is bananas. That is bananas. Taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants. Miguel can easily become Michelle.
Both wrote and answered in the affirmative when she was asked this. And she said she also supported it for federal prisoners. Now, she also pledged to slash immigration detention by 50%, close all family and private facilities, and decrease funding for ICE, and then the end ICE detainers with local law enforcement.
I mean, these are things that, you know, it would be hard to think that you would come up with taxpayer funding gender transitions for detained migrants, and yet this, as you say, written and verbally. You know, what else, you know, did you find?
Well, let's take a look at her answer here on.
Honestly, she seems absolutely floored. I don't know if she has any talking points for this, but I'm sure they saw this before. But this was something that Kamala Harris had voted for and commented on back in 2019. And as we remember, this is what Kamala Harris said about her views, and her stances have not changed.
Because you were running for president in a Democratic primary. And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Erin Burnett here is probably as flabbergasted as I am, because this is crazy. Taxpayer transition surgeries for detained migrants. It doesn't make any sense.
On drugs, she got asked about, the question from the ACLU was, since drug use is better addressed as a public health issue through treatment and other programming, will you support the decriminalization at the federal level of all drug possession for personal use? And Harris answers yes. Now, what would that mean? Well, I mean the federal all drug possession. That's not just marijuana, which she alluded to in her answer to this question, but it also would mean
it's federal level of all drug possession,
fentanyl, crack,
use.
Cocaine, things like that. Yeah.
Have they responded to you on her changes on these issues?
So we did put this question to the Harris campaign about the entire ACLU questionnaire, and the Harris campaign didn't answer any questions from CNN. Instead, they just provided a statement from an unnamed Harris campaign advisor that just said, the vice president's positions have been shaped by 3 years of effective governance as part of the Biden-Harris administration. Now, they declined to CNN to elaborate on what those positions were. And then they also provided this statement, which they attributed to a spokesperson saying, as president, she will take that same pragmatic approach, focusing on common sense solutions for the sake of progress. So where does she stand on this, all this questionnaire today? We don't know, and they won't say.
It's pretty incredible stuff. And thank you very much, Andrew.
The decriminalization of all drugs. I don't know if that's going to go too well. If you want to really kind of know how that's going, you got to check out Portland and California, because it's not going so well. The open use of different substances on the streets, more looting, and an overwhelming amount of homeless activity. That is crazy. It is absolutely bonkers to me. We're going to see this unfold tonight. I will be live streaming tonight at the debate watch party, so check for it. The show will start at 5:45 PST. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think about Kamala Harris's past positions and how Donald Trump is going to address these past positions in the debate, because this would be the only opportunity to do that, because we know gosh dang well that she is not going to be talking to the press. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.